Is my internet or what? Boom. There it is. It says we're live, Mercedes.
Hey, hey,
Yes. Hey, Baddie.
hey, Baddie. Yeah.
Hey. Yes. Welcome, everyone. We hope to have more join us on our monthly Baddie Billionaire conversation. Tonight, we're digging into the team you need. For those of you all who don't know who we are or what we do, this particular platform is for women in financial industries who are winning, who want to support one another, who want to share with the world how to build agencies, how to leverage the skill sets of others, as well as really becoming the best leader that we can in this space, in this area. We share other winning financial tips and guides and all of that. But tonight, we are digging into the team you need. Real quick, I'm Quintaria Brunton, a financial strategist. And of course, because I'm here on the Baddie Billionaires conversation, I am in the financial industry. I am joined tonight with another Baddie.
Hey, guys. I'm Mercedes Coates. And as you guys know, I'm a financial professional giving you all of the strategies using the right financial tools to make your financial dreams come true. So, glad to be here.
I like it. Now, see, that's the team you need. The people who come with she had our whole little giving you the financial tool. I felt like this was radio. We have the tools you need. And like, I love it. Well, we may have other individuals hop on, share, follow us. We Mercedes and we do a couple of other things together, but this particular platform is for women in the financial industry so that we can build one another up and have. And I one of the things we always close out with is like an accountability session, but I can't wait for, as the year progresses, for us to see how we have grown our legacies, how we've grown our agencies, and how more vibrant and robust our agencies are because of the work that we do. So we're gonna dig right on in. First up, I'm gonna start with the team. So having a financial team, why does that matter? And who should we have as a part of our financial team?
Yeah, I mean, this one we talk about this one a lot, right? So there are different types of people you need to have. First of all, knowing that you need multiple financial professionals is super important.
Number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people think you just need a financial advisor. No. You need
an accountant, or
just an accountant. Absolutely. So who do you need, right? Well, you definitely need your accountant, right? Especially if you're in business, you need your accountant, someone who specializes in taxes, right? You need a financial professional, someone who knows financial plans, someone who has a insurance or annuity license. Why? Because these financial plans come from insurance companies, right? You also need an estate lawyer. To make sure that they are managing your assets and showing you how to structure the asset, right? In things like trust and so forth, right? But all these people, they work together, they work hand in hand. Who else do you need? You need a financial strategist. A strategist to help you incorporate, make sure that you're in the right incorporation, make sure that you are getting the right loans or grants, or positioning your business under the right corporate veil, right?
Yeah.
A lot. Who am I missing?
Honestly, one of the things for me is knowing the difference between your CPA and accountant and a tax strategist, because it's almost like an attorney versus a lawyer. They both have access to the law, but one can represent you and speak on your behalf, and the other cannot. So one thing I'll say is one of the things I see often is that people often put too much on their CPAs and tax preparers, right? Now, sometimes your CPA can do both, but more often than not, people who have, and I say this lovingly because I have a degree in accounting. I was in the accounting field for a while and had to run out because my brain, like all they had to tell me, Mercedes, was a few times that we got to stay late because we're 6 cents short. Or we can't find $1.13 and we gotta stay. I was like, oh yeah, like, so, but you need that mindset to cross the T's and dot the I's. So accountants typically keep your books in order. So bookkeep, whereas a strategist will give you the vision, or a tax attorney can tell you what's legal. And then you take that strategy back to the accountant to then keep your books in order. Another thing too, depending on if you're a business owner, you may need a business broker. One of the things I run into having that designation myself is that if you don't fully understand your exit strategy, be it as a business owner or just for your family, you could end up, working or doing things that really don't have any real benefit, and it could throw you off of your path. If you're in crypto or other things, I'm going to say this. For every area that you have, that you're investing money or that you're considering investing or putting your money in, I think that you need an expert that can guide you in that area. But more than anything, I think that it is critical for people to understand that it isn't just one person. When you get around wealthy individuals, and as we were working on, and we need to get back to this too, when we were working on our financial education plan, the Baltimore Fire Initiative, one of the main things we talked about was showing them that it takes a team of people. Yes. Wealthy people have a team. They have a personal banker. They have, like an investment banker. They have a hedge fund account holders that they talk.
Legal team.
Thank you. They have legal teams and all of that. So we could, depending on what people want to specialize in or where they plan to move their money, it may change some. But the key thing that you mentioned that is so true is know that it's not a what you got one. Oh, I got an accountant and you're done. I got an attorney and you're done.
They really work together. Even with me, Quinsari, when I'm doing financial plans, a lot of times if I'm working with high income earners, I need to be with a third party administrator. I need to work with the CPA to design plans with the tax strategy in mind, right?
Yes,
we work together. Yes. We got to talk together to put that plan in place.
And let me say this, as a strategist myself, I had a client that for 2.5 years, we designed a plan for the client. They were moving through phases of they were, they had significant tax improvements and things of that nature. They ran into another financial planner that was more on the investment type side, who gave them, I'm not going to say bad, but I continue to push for, hey, should we do, should we all come together? Should we? And the other party that they were talking to was like, oh, no, I don't need to talk to her. When I say they undermined it so much, we had to dissolve his corporation. We had to, and real talk, I essentially, in a very pleasant way, because it wasn't like any ill will, but I had to disassociate myself because the other financial advice that they were getting was, I was like, oh, I don't play those games. I don't play, like some of the suggestions that they were giving, and a lot of things. And the client was like, man, I didn't realize that this was and I'm like, but this is why you have to make sure that everybody sits at your, that you bring them together. Even for myself, I will pay an incentive to my financial team to bring more more ideas and doubt, but we've got to have at least quarterly where everyone can come together and really see what the right hand is doing versus what the left hand is doing so that I can win. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to pass it back to you. But if you have someone who wants to sit on your financial strategy team that wants to help you invest money, move money, set up life insurance policies, and they are adverse to speaking to other people that are assisting you as well, I would be weary of that person moving forward. Because I will tell people very quickly, I know my superpower. My superpower is the vision and the strategy. If you have a business or you need an exit plan, that's what I do. If you want tips on how to heighten your experience with working the tax code, that is what I do. But we need your accountant. I'm not trying to be your end all be all, and we need to watch individuals that want to occupy our time and space in that capacity.
Exactly. Everything you said, I love it. Guys, I hope you're listening. You're getting these gems for free.
Thank you, right?
Awesome. No, but in a nutshell, just to kind of wrap up this question, just like Quinsaria said, guys, understand it takes a team, right? You got to be able to share this information with your other team, who's doing what. And we work together very well. When it comes to when it comes to designing financial plans, and I'm going to speak just from my expertise, there's different buckets that we talk about, right? As we're accumulating wealth, we have to factor in taxes. So when it comes to working directly in the market versus not working in the market and doing tax-free strategies, that goes hand in hand with market returns. So having that maybe investor work with your tax-free strategist, that goes hand in hand. They're two different licenses, right? Most investors don't even have a life insurance license. So I'm going to tell you guys one little tip. Most investors don't have a life insurance license. Most financial advisors do not have a life insurance license, okay? What the difference is the life insurance license will allow you to work with tax-free strategies, okay? Financial products that have tax-free. So working with your financial advisor, working with your life insurance agent goes hand in hand, because we can put your money in different buckets that allow you to work diversified, right? When the markets are down, you're not losing money, consistent in tax-free buckets and index buckets, and then also creating guarantees in retirement. So just be open to the idea of having a financial team around you and understanding what those roles are. So we just gave you a little snippet tonight, and I think that was pretty good.
Because you are in the driver's seat, and if anyone wants to sway you differently, just keep your eyes out for that. Now, this leads great into our next segment. So it says a mentor shortens your learning curve and expands your vision and helps you avoid costly mistakes. Why consider a mentor, and what attributes should a mentor have?
This is always my favorite. So
come on now.
I have had a few mentors in my lifetime. And here's what I'll say. You don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. We're all learning as we go, right? But it's super important to have someone who knows more than you. You got to fight the ego of thinking you know everything, right?
Come on now.
You got to put yourself in position to scale. You can't scale if you are side by side with someone who's equal to you. You need someone who knows more than you, who's doing better than you, to teach you the game, to teach you the experiences that they already went through in order to get to the next level. If you made your first 6 figures, now you want to get to the next 6 figures, which is 300,000. Let's say that. Then you want to get to the first $1 million. You got to level up your mentor. If they haven't been to that level yet, you got to get a new mentor now, because you got to get that $1 million. That $1 million mentor is going to take you to a different level. So being open to learning from a mentor, I think, I know for sure everybody needs one, right? In order to scale. But you asked, Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I say all the time that a coach without a coach, that's a recipe for disaster. You know, like
Exactly.
especially for myself, being in a consultant coaching role, like I pay good money for coaching, mentorship, even like non-paid mentorships. Like you said, when I see people that I admire, teach me, teach me, coach me. I am open to it, you know, like but no, but I do want us to get into what should we consider when we're looking for a mentor, or if we're considering being mentored, or even if you're mentoring someone, what do you consider in that mentor relationship? What attributes are we looking for?
Yeah. So I think the first thing that attracts, first you're seeing results first. Before you
Tie
even know
down, honey.
anything about them, you got to see results. I think that's the number one thing that attracts you to someone who you may want to consider a mentor, right? They have results. You see them actually doing it, right? Because you can talk about it all day, but if you're not doing
Thank
it,
you.
that can't
Thank
be
you.
your mentor. So I would
And
say
sometimes people talking the most ain't doing
those ones
anything.
you gotta be careful of who talking all the time and you ain't got nothing to show for it. But having a mentor, look for results first. The second thing I would say is maybe looking at their teaching style. I think for me, teaching style is important. Can I receive the information? I'm open to it, right? You got to be open-minded to receive it, but are they able to teach you in a way you can understand? So I
Yeah.
look for that in a mentor as well. Okay.
Yeah, because all of people say, they mistakenly say knowledge is power. No, applied knowledge is
Yeah,
power. You know, so
exactly.
you do have to be able to retain what you're learning and what the mentor is giving you, so that you can apply it in what you got going on.
Yeah, exactly. I also look at vision. Like, what is their
Mm,
vision of the future? A lot of times when you are working with a mentor that is ahead of you or doing very well, they normally are already 2 steps ahead. They got a vision for something more and beyond. They're stretching you, right?
yeah,
So ask yourself, is this person stretching me? Am I growing with this person, or am I remaining stagnant? If you're remaining stagnant, it may be time for you to separate, right?
yeah.
Or it may be time for you not to start with that person. You need someone who's going to stretch you with their vision, with your vision, and just be able to build you up. I'm always
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah, no, you hit you said very key components that we should be considering in a mentor. I definitely think first you need to do some self-reflection, consider where you are, and to be ready, because one thing I will say is I am excited. I had someone today reach out to me about mentoring them. I
that.
had
Oh,
people
very nice.
reach out to me often for that, and I don't mind. Mercedes, you know, I don't mind. Follow me, hop in.
Mhm.
I even have some family members who say, you know, like, I'm trying to figure out what you do. Well, I work X amount of hours a day. I have a team of 9 individuals who, staff and work with me. They're able to find me. If you're unable to find me, that I mean, I hope you don't think I'm gonna chase you to coach you, but
Right?
but hey, you'd be surprised at how some people move out there, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm,
I will say that many people don't mind blessing you, giving
mhm,
you game. We just
mhm,
don't want to feel like, as a mentor and a mentee, right now I'm speaking from a mentor position, I don't
mhm,
want to feel like my time is being wasted, you know.
mhm,
But
mhm,
if you're ready and you're willing, and you can clearly state what, like what you expect, what you need, what you're looking to get out of it, because it may not be a 6-month mentorship, or it might be shadowing one or
mhm,
two times and you get what you need,
mhm,
and we can go on from there. I will say this. I know we're saying what to consider in the mentor, but as a
mhm,
mentee, for me, unless it's something that is a paid something, and even in paid opportunities, I still have this mindset. But when I am seeking mentorship, I go with a how can I serve them mentality.
mhm.
Not I'd love to be under you because I want to build my real estate portfolio and I see you doing big things, or like, of course I want to learn from you, but I really consider, I scan and see what they have going on, and if there are specific skill sets, my superpowers, that I could bless their life, even if it's nothing major, even if it's like, hey, like, I know you're always on the go or whatever, I would love to, drive you around for a couple of weeks, so that you don't have to drive yourself. You would be amazed when you come with value, how much people will pour back into you. So as you're looking for what attributes are in a mentor, consider what attributes you are giving as a mentee as well, because people want to bless you. People want those of us who are passionate about what we do. And once you learn so much, Mercedes, I'm sure you can, once you know so much about your industry and what you do, and you've reached that level of expertise, I want to get this out of my head. I want to share it. Like, please come. Like, I need, and we love what we do. So we want other people. It's exciting for me to have conversations about the tax code, about financial strategy, about business development, about strategically positioning real estate. I love those type of conversations, but I don't want to feel like I'm being taken advantage of. And like I said, you want me to find you to coach you. You don't. That's not what it is. So I'll say for my closing on this, even looking in what you want in a mentor, be sure that you can clearly convey what you can provide as a mentee as well, because it should be a win-win situation.
Exactly.
It should be a win-win situation, baby. It shouldn't.
I love that. I love that. Without being ready as a mentee, is no way you're going to get that mentor. You have to be able to give before you receive. Absolutely.
Thank you. And because this is about building agency, that definitely, like, that is so true in this industry where we're looking for people who are seeking new opportunities and things of that nature. We want you to win. We're trying to build a team. We're trying to, our goal is team building, is to, to put you on. We're trying to turn you on to some games. So we want you to win. However, woo! Mercedes and I, we don't have some situations.
You making me hot, girl.
But I had to pull my hair back.
Yeah, I saw you too. I was like, we both like, woo, child. A lot of times people just want to take. But what can you give and what can you provide? So you made a great point. I love everything you said. And guys, if you're just hopping into the conversation, we were just talking about why you need a mentor and what attributes to look for. So, very well said, very well thought out answers.
No, you laid the foundation. You laid. Look, I just
teamwork make the dream work. Teamwork make the dream. This is literally goes hand in hand, even with the partnership. Baby. A partnership is the same, guys. Your partnership has to be a win-win. It has to be a give and take. So all of those things. So what do we got next?
So now, how to identify your target market. So you've considered your mentor, right? You have put your financial team together. Now you're ready to hit the streets with your business idea, hit the streets and start building your team, and you're actually getting the work done. Who are your ideal clients? How do we identify them? Especially in this industry, is it really everybody, or do you still have a target audience in the life insurance industry?
I think for me, I still have a target audience. Although I can help everybody, there are just certain areas that I really enjoy when it comes to how I can help people. So I guess this is a two-part question. You want to know as far as how do I determine the target audience? Okay. And so when we talk about looking at a what do you call it? A consolidated group of people, right?
Okay.
Um,
Like your demographic.
a demographic, yes.
Yeah.
The words just escaped me. Um,
No
I
worries.
I literally just look at, what am I passionate about, right? I am very passionate about setting up our children for the future. So when it comes to that, I know that if I'm going to do that for my families, I know that I'm basically going to be targeting people who are 27 to about 45. And why? Because this is our parents' age. These are parents. These individuals have parents, or they're getting prepared to become grandparents, right? So they are in their working years. They are earning money, whether they're at the beginning or at the end. They can put plans in place for their children today that will carry them throughout a lifetime. So I look at what am I passionate about first. I love working with, like I said, parents. I also love working with those who are getting ready to retire. So I have a second target market. My second target market is anywhere between 55 and 65. Why? Because we're in a retirement crisis right now. I don't care if they're not saying it at all on the news. There's an issue. People are going back to work in their 70s, Quintaria.
Come on now, I see it. And it
Okay?
won't be me. You'll be unhappy if I gotta put stickers on you at Walmart because I'm gonna
This
stick it on your forehead. What?
Yes, it's a real thing. And you
Yeah.
know why? Because they're running out of money. And what's going to happen is the people who are our age, they live in their best life, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And you can live your best life, but you got to put some things in place. It's going to be a repeat cycle. If we do not
It
get
may
to,
even be worse, Mercedes,
and it
because
probably will.
our mama and them, they didn't live their best life like the
They
like
didn't.
generation.
You're right. You're right.
And I'm gonna be very honest. My mother didn't take vacations like that. With her vacations, my twin brother and I were with her. Like she,
right, mine too.
like,
Right, we got that in common. I don't even remember that many vacations.
Yeah, my mother didn't really live her best life like that. They might have had some card parties or something like that in the basement or something like, or we had to go to the basement because they was in the living room. But they, So we may be the end of Gen X going into millennials and beyond. We may be worse because think about how the high earners we have in some of these younger generations that they earn a lot, but they spend even more. Heavily consumer based, right?
Yes, very heavy
so you not even because I know for me, I'm in my 40s. My grandmother and my mother and them were big on savings. Houses paid off was not unfamiliar in my family, or like in the tribe of people. Like growing up in Detroit, it was not uncommon at a retirement party to that somebody like, oh, I got this last 7,000, we paying the house off or what. That was not an uncommon theme for me to hear growing up in Detroit, that homes were paid off, right? I don't hear that anymore. People buying new houses every 5-6 years, so paying it off, so you are speaking to something that we really need to consider. One, what do you want your retirement lifestyle to be? Because if you have gone to Dubai 2 times a year, and Paris 3 times, and I'm not hating on that. I love to travel. I can appreciate all of that. But if you're expecting your retirement to look like that, then you really need to factor in, honey. You need to factor in what that will cost. Otherwise, like you said, you will be 70 returning to work. Yeah.
I mean, everything you just said. So I figure it like this: if I can help people who are between the ages of 55 and 65 to create guarantees in retirement so that they can move their money and reallocate it to places where they won't run out of money and they don't have to go back to work, then guess what? They're going to talk to their children and they're going to say, hey, you need to sit down and come and sit down and talk to Miss Mercedes. She going to do right. So you start with the leadership. they gonna say, come and sit down, come to my house, bring my grandbabies, right? Bring my grandbabies, because my grandbabies need this too. That's what
Yeah.
they're gonna say. So I
Mm-hmm.
know that when you work with the matriarchs, when you work with the
Patriarchs. Yeah.
the families, right? Because right now we're in a, what I call it, the sandwich generation. Because most of us are caring for our aging parents at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to focus on making sure that their quality of life is right, but also at the same time that if it's not, that ours is not totally disrupted. Because that's literally what's happening today. Because
Yeah.
there are people who are running solid businesses, but if your mom or dad goes down, it falls on you.
Yeah.
If your kids go down, it falls on you, and you stuck right in the middle. That's that sandwich
Yeah.
where you take care of both. So identifying the target market, I would say, look at what you're passionate about, and do what makes you feel good, but also has the need that you can service. So
Yeah.
that's what I look for in the target market.
Yeah.
What about
And
you?
you speak to, as a financial strategist, specifically working with entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
solving a problem. And that's what you
That's
were
it.
saying. So
Mhm.
what problem can you specifically solve? So
Yes.
like you said, Mercedes, I help families to
Mhm.
make sure that you're protected when you're in the sandwich generation, or
Mhm.
like, and you use, like, what are you passionate about? But we're passionate about it is because we have an answer for it. I have
Yes,
a
a
solution for it.
solution.
So
Mhm.
yes, so I think that is critical, because I don't care what industry you're in, it's thousands of people in every industry. What
Mhm.
problem do you solve? And finding the people who have that problem so that you can show them, hey, I have the solution for that.
Mhm.
So I think that, like, they'll talk about psychographics, demographics, all these technical terms, but what it boils down to,
Mhm.
who has a problem that you have a solution for.
That's it.
And I often say too, you don't have to show that you can solve it for everybody. Because sometimes, especially, and this is typically outside of the insurance industry, but many times when I'm working with entrepreneurs, they have such a fear of saying, like, their specific target market, right? They,
Mhm.
I got something for everybody. Yes, everyone can purchase your product. Yes, like you said, I
Mhm.
can service everyone. Yeah, of course you can. I
Mhm.
use this example often. Vans, the shoes, the little skater shoes.
Yeah.
Now, my daughters now probably are cringing, like, we don't wear them shoes anymore. But when they were in high school and middle school, honey, when I say I would trip over Vans, I would sleep and Vans would pop into my sleep. Vans were all over the house, right? Because they were into Vans. My African American, in a suburban area, daughters were not in on Vans target market, that,
Mhm.
Starbucks,
Mhm.
Chipotle, places that I frequent. I am not their target, like their target audience. I'm not who they build their brand around and things of that nature. What we have to understand, and what we have to make sure that we keep up with, is you love on your target community so much. So going back to how you were saying, the 55 to 65, if you do well with them, like you said, I'm gonna get grandma,
Mhm.
sit her
Mhm.
down and bless her life, and she's going to pull her daughter, and her daughter or her son will pull the grandkids in. So
Mhm.
that's what we need to
Yep.
realize. You need to be very specific about who you want to work with
Mhm.
and the problem you can solve, because you don't have to market beyond
Yep.
that. Once you
Exactly.
change, like you said, once you put somebody in a retirement plan that
Mhm.
now they can breathe, now they can go, especially with the climate that we have now, people are losing jobs left and right. Once you put their mind at ease and they know that their financial situation, it has a level of peace, you're right. They're going to tell their kids, you need to
Yep.
talk to Miss Mercedes and Doc. And that goes to, even when I talk to people as as they have a new business idea or something like that, pick the the most baked and the most comprehensive problem that you can solve, that you can market. Because when people see that you provide a solution for that, they'll trust you for more things. Going back, yeah. So I think that what you said was so on point. I can work with anyone, but I target. And that's the thing. Y'all know my saying, you got to CEO that thing.
That's
a CEO ain't out here saying, I'll take anybody out. Do you know how desperate that sounds? Do you know because your high quality clients probably you probably repel them with statements like, oh, you'll work with anybody. That has no level of exclusivity. That has no, feeling of, like, okay, she can specifically solve my needs and my problems. So I think that identifying your target market, you should start with, like Mercedes said, where's my passion? Because your passion is usually around the confidence that you have in solving said problem. So what problem do I have a solution for? And you go heavy, you go with all that you can and solve that problem over and over and over again. Spin the block and solve that problem again, and you will attract a greater and greater audience if you keep solving that problem for that one particular community.
People gonna talk about it. Then they're gonna know who you are. And that's how you build your brands, right? That's how we build our brands.
Most definitely.
People gonna talk about it. The best marketing is free marketing.
You ain't never lied.
That's it.
Word of mouth, baby.
That's it. It's organic, right? It's organic.
And people can trust it. People can trust it. When I think that someone has been paid for a statement or paid for a testimonial, like that just feels like, okay, but if I'm in a grocery store, or I go visit family and an aunt, or a great aunt, an uncle, or somebody is raving about a service that they got, like, oh, you got to go try this new chicken place, it was amazing, and I know they weren't paid for that, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, like if it's something that I'm like, I don't know, like you just trying to get my money or whatever. So you want serving, doing right by people, changing the lives of people in a positive way, solving problems for people. You have walking billboards that will speak on your behalf and that will send you referrals and all of that. Quick story. When I was primarily in real estate years ago, I had a client that came to me. Nobody in her family had ever, mother or father side, had ever owned a home. So she was applying for a home, and they were like, her credit is great. Like she had like an 800 credit score, but her income was very low. So multiple lenders was like, I can't do that. Like she qualified for 80,000 and we're in the DMV area, like she qualified for 80, 90,000. I can't really do much with this or whatever. Interest rates dropped a little and we got her up to around 110,000. I convinced her to look into Baltimore, and she ended up finding a home in Baltimore for 108,000. Home today, I think she closed in 2015 or 2016. The home today is worth like 310, 315. So but people did not want to work with her. She had been turned away by so many people. And my thing was, if this woman wants to buy, we're going to figure it out. So it took us maybe a year, but finally she found her a home, a 3-bedroom, 3-level home in Baltimore, right? A whole house for 108. And it's like I said, it's over 200,000 in equity in the home now. We're just around 10 years now that she's been there at this point. But long story short, she sends me more referrals than any other client I've ever had. From me, who referred you? It's often her name. Who referred you? We track VIP referrals, meaning clients who send us people. We always send a gift every year because it never fails. So that I want to say this too. solve the problem for the people that you carry the solution for, and they will be your biggest advocates. They don't forget that. Like I said,
No.
I don't remember if it may have been 2016, but like we're literally 9 years, at least 9 years out, and she still sends people my way to this day,
I love that. And that comes from, number one, knowing your business. I tell people that all the time. Don't just do stuff just to say you do it. Just because you have a license don't mean you know your business.
Come on
don't
now.
mean you're a professional, right? You knew your business and you stood on what you believe in. That tells a lot about people's character. They say they want to help people get into it, but they're really doing it for the money.
Thank you. Come on now.
Money should be the byproduct of everything that you do. First, you help people, and income and the money is the byproduct of that. So it tells a lot about your character. So I love that you mentioned that, because if you're listening to what Quintaria just said, she told you that it's about character. She's standing on her mission. And because of that, people, and I just posted it the other day, people they will forget what you said, but they will not forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And you made her feel loved. You made her feel that she can do it. You made her feel that she is worthy of it. You made her feel that she had the best person working for her to help her get into this house. And guess what? You got rewarded for that. So kudos to you.
Yeah. And I appreciate what you said so much, because for me in 2018, I won Rookie of the Year for my real estate sales. I was floored when I saw how much I sold, because I've never been motivated. If someone say, okay, Quintar, we making $1 million this year. It's like, okay. But if you say to me, even now, my current goal for my company is to serve 2,000 business owners. Not whatever the byproduct of that is, that's what the byproduct is. But I mentioned that to say, when I won Rookie of the Year, I wanted to help 60 families, right? I'm like, I want to put 60 families in a home. And that was all I was focused on. The families I was putting. When they called the numbers out, I was like, who did that? But it really, for me, it truly is about the lives changed. So I'm so glad that you said, you do what you love, solve the problem that you have the solution for, and the byproduct will be the earnings, because people don't want to work with you when they know they're just a check. When I know I'm just a check and you really don't care for me, or sometimes you do what you got to do. It's like it's transactional, but nobody really wants to be in a transactional.
Nobody wants to be sold.
Yeah,
they don't want to be sold.
Yes.
Nobody.
Thank you. And that's what I love about this industry, though, is because you may have different individuals, but most of the people I run into that are in this industry that are building agencies love people. They have seen tragedy strike and they want to change and make a difference. They have seen people, be able to use their lifetime income opportunities, and they want to share that with other people. They have seen people have to go, to the streets, to the city, have to be forced to cremate loved ones because they didn't have money to do the type of service that they want to, and they want to change that. I hear so many heartfelt stories in this industry, and I love that. I love that people are not saying the first thing they, it isn't like, man, you could make so much money and die. And I hear that in other industries, just to be real. In real estate, hear it all the time. Business sales, here, being in a financial space that I'm in is so many places that the first thing they lead with is how much money they make. And I'm not mad at them, but my brain does not work like that. Like I said, even for me, for this, that has been how I moved, and it is truly a part of my character. For me, it's like, how do I help 2,000 business owners? What do I need to do? What do I need to say? How does my systems need to be in place to bless 2,000 business owners? And we'll see what the results will be.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. We have that in common too. My first year in the industry, I also did that. My very first year, I was 24 when I got licensed. And I didn't know that my first year I did over 160,000 in business. It just in insurance contracts. I'm talking about final expense, small little policies, because my goal was to help people.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was help people. I never tracked my numbers, nothing. They said, Mercedes, you did over 160,000. You hit the free trip to Punta Cana, U+1. I said, say what? I did what? You sending me where and when?
Yeah.
I said, oh, and I did how much in business? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I just wanted to go out there and help as many people as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. You heard something good. You realized you could be the solution, and you took it from there. So that's a great segue into our last question. And it's, how do you create momentum? Momentum in business is not luck. Honey, I'm teaching this now in the Black Print. It is strategy and consistency. How do we create momentum in our businesses while creating agencies? Where does this momentum come from?
So for me, the way I create momentum is I always have to look at where I'm at right now. I got to do a SWOT analysis. I have to start with reflection. Seriously, I got to look at my weaknesses, my opportunities, and my threats. Where am I strong at? Where am I weak at? And I actually learned this from Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson came to one of our conventions, and he says twice a year, I do a SWOT analysis on myself and my businesses. And he looks at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And once you actually identify those areas, you can see where you need to improve, right? So I looked at, let's say something I did recently. In that nugget, I got that from Magic Johnson.
A lot of people do that in their business plan, but they don't go back to it.
Oh, you got to. And I wasn't doing it as often until I heard him say that. And so I look at, well, what am I doing really well? What am I not doing really well? Where are my opportunities at? Like, where can I grow at? Or what areas, what markets can I get into? What demographics, what income levels? Like, what are my opportunities? And who are my competitors? What are my threats? Is my schedule my threat? Because I don't have enough time.
Come on now.
Right?
I mean, she's really been doing this. She's really been doing this work.
You have to start with the reflection of yourself. If you can't be honest with you, how could you even create anything that's going to be sustainable? If not, you're going to keep starting over and starting over. So do that SWOT analysis. That's my first thing. Okay. The second thing is now start to implement the strategy from there. If, for example, I transitioned out of corporate America last year. I'm almost in my 1 year, by the way.
You are. I'm so proud of you. You like my little toddler starting to walk. Like, oh, she's standing on her own now.
Yes, it's coming up.
She's pulling up now. Yes. She's pulling up.
So identifying those things, I knew I needed to create more time so that I can see more people. So that was one of my weaknesses. I didn't have enough time. I was tired. Maybe I needed to cook my food and prep it because I had to come home and cook for everybody as a mom and a wife, and it would cut it into my phone time. So I had to take some of those things and put those things in place, right? Now I'm creating momentum. But again, it started with that SWOT analysis, Quintaria. It started with the reflection first, and now identifying opportunities. What networks do I need to get into? Do I need to network more? Do I need to go on campuses? Do I need to talk to certain corporations? Am I missing something in the nonprofit space? I started to look at those things, and I started to tap into them, connect with them, getting the partners that I need. And I started to see my business grow and grow and grow and keep going up. The sky is the limit, but you got to start with where you are and where you want to be. That's why it was everything for me.
Yeah, the momentum, and those are so true. I don't necessarily do a SWOT analysis that often, but I am going to do one because I think that is very valuable. For me, one of the things that I do and that keeps me motivated is I track and I do like a monthly analysis. Where are we on our goals? What, I'm big on, I'm a calendar girl. So I schedule, like I plan, I set expectations. So before the fourth quarter of this year, I'm already setting. So, okay, so I'm here. So for 2026, what are our goals? When we decided as a company to do 2,000 business owners, we made that decision like in October, November of 2024. Like, okay, it's a lofty goal, but here's where we are. So, but tracking and seeing where you're winning, where you're not doing well. So kind of the SWOT, but I didn't do it as thorough as that. But that right there lets me know if I need to prune some things, if I'm wasting, if I'm just being busy, but it's not strategic, it's not scalable, like, so I need to shave those things away. That was real talk. Even though for real estate, when I shifted from residential to commercial, it was one. If I've got my, I have my 20-year vision board, and when I said I put commercial real estate on that, but when you get into real estate, you're kind of just pushed into residential so easy. But long story short, I bring that up to say, very early on after getting my license, it was like the writing was on the wall, like, oh, they're shrinking this. They're pushing agents out of this industry. They're, so I instantly started to expand my services. I started to lean on my accounting expertise and started teaching corporate credit. And from the corporate credit, the Brunson approach was born. So I was kind of simultaneously doing both. And now I have a full agency that is a strategic firm. And I say that to say that I had to cut off, like I just shared with y'all, I won Rookie of the Year, in 2018, but by 2019, 2020, I had fully released the residential aspect of that and moved on into commercial and just aligning with business owners, because those analysis, looking at the data, looking at who was actually spending money with me, looking at trends. That's another thing that motivates me. It is so much information out there that why aren't you looking at, like the Department of Labor, statistics? Why aren't you checking the White House initiatives to see why aren't you checking your local state assembly to see what laws are coming down the pipeline? All of that information should be able to allow you to CEO that thing and see the direction that you can move in. So real talk, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, because I still hold a real estate license. I still make moves in real estate, but there are so many people I know that are dying on the vine or had to leave the real estate industry with the changes that has happened in the last 3 years or so, that, it's almost like you have to adjust and be prepared and realize, like, okay, maybe I need to put more energy here as opposed to there. And not saying that when an industry starts to tighten up or when things start to change, you necessarily need to leave, but you do need to make sure that the strategy that you're using isn't a played out strategy. Like that's almost like if I'm trying to sell you CDs. Real story, real quick. I know we're coming up on an hour, but I needed a transcript from the courts for something. I have something that I'm calling the courts and I'm like, I need the clerk. I'm trying to get a transcript. So they transfer and like the whole yes, I need the transcript. And they was like, we only have it on CD and you'll have to find somebody to. I said, CD? What am I gonna do with a CD in this day and age? So I say that to say many business owners are operating like the courts. You've got a tape cassette or a CD player business model when AI is running rampant out here, when they're scaling back, and like automation and systems are key in order to have a scalable business. It's right there in your face, but you are just hell bent on, nope, this how we did it back in 82. And that's what I'm gonna do. And okay, you keep, like Nipsey Hussle said, you can fight with the rocks or roll with the river. I'm gonna ride the river.
I'm
not gonna fight with the rocks and try to keep an antiquated system, in place, when I can shift and adjust. And like Mercedes said, do that SWOT analysis so that I can see what my threats are. I can see what the opportunities are, and I can be in position. I'm not struggling like many of my counterparts who just stayed solely dedicated to real estate. I have a thriving business. I'm building agency and all types of things because I saw certain things and I shifted accordingly.
I love that. I mean, everything you said about your you said something that I really like. You talked about your momentum with trends and patterns. That is key, Quintaria. There's actually another shift that's getting ready to happen now. As you know, there are more millionaires now, faster made millionaires. But with all of the things changing, like departments are being dismantled, federal funding is changing and now being allocated to the states. So something that even just Governor Wes Moore just said, tonight, it was either tonight or last night, but I saw the recording. Capital gains taxes are going up in Maryland.
That's a whole nother that's a whole nother lie.
That is just the beginning of what's going to happen with the state. So now we're talking about where you put your money. See, we always preach about it's not just what you accumulate, it's what
you keep.
You can make a lot of money, but if you can't keep it and you lose most of it to taxes, then what was it all for?
Thank you.
Right? You got to learn your buckets. And that goes back to, again, you need to make a consultation with us.
You do. You do.
That right there.
I know, right?
Property gains, that's a huge thing. I mean, so listen, guys, if you're investing in the market and you earn interest and you pull that stock out, you sell that stock, you pull that money out, you got to pay capital gains. So trends are important.
Yeah, it is.
And trends affect your business.
You got to CEO that thing. Stay plugged in. Stay, like think of the top CEOs. They're waking up. They're looking at Forbes. They're looking at the stock exchange. They're plugged in. You have got to be plugged in. And when I say CEO that thing, you don't have to have a business for that. Nope. CEO your marriage. CEO your children's education. CEO your mental health. CEO your life. Be the like the head of your life, your expenses, your finances, your well-being, all of that. We've got to CEO our lives and be intentional about it. That is the only way that start, even from this conversation, that's the only way you build strong agencies. That's the only way you build strong legacies, which is the ultimate goal, from legacy building to, like deciding how to invest, in the questions and conversations that we've had today. It is all in an effort for us to build a legacy that we can appreciate and have some experience and exchange with it today. And we can leave that legacy so that our future generations don't have to keep starting over and hitting reset. Everybody ain't got to get it out the mud. I'm just going to say that. Everybody, we ain't all got to get it out the mud.
That's right.
This has been amazing. I'm going to let you close us out today, Mercedes. This has been, I know we didn't have as many other billionaires on today. However, this was a good conversation. And Tribe, I hope you all see opportunity. Reach out if you're interested in the industry. If you want to partner with us, we would love to have a conversation with you about how to build, how we can work together, how we can have a mentee-mentor relationship, and all of that stuff.
Well, I mean, you said it right there. I was going to close out with that. But, listen, guys, this has been a great conversation. I hope you got some great information. I hope you also share this. Don't just sit on it. Share it with someone. and apply it. Apply it, right? Apply it. All of this talking means nothing if you don't do. It means nothing if you don't do anything with it, right? So guys, listen, it's been amazing. I also enjoyed our conversation. You know, me and you always have a good time.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we do. We
If
do.
they don't show up, we gonna show
We
up.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being a baddie. I love being a baddie, and we're talking about a baddie in life and not just you know, with money, but just in our life, CEO in our
Yes.
life.
Hold on. I'm going to say this before we leave. You know, my children are in their 20s and they were talking to me and I was like, I got to go. I got a baddies coming up. And my middle daughter was like, no, not like she said, what she say? She said, I got to read this to you because I hollered. I was like, no. She was like, baddie, like shot a clock, baddie? I said, no, I've been your mama long enough. And I sent her the flyer and she was like, oh, I saw that. I'm like, you know good well, I'm not doing no shot o'clock. And so I'm glad you clarified that on here. Because even my children were like, Baddie, you know. She was like, I know not no shot o'clock. I said,
oh my gosh.
I ain't never been no shot o'clock.
Guys, we're here once a month. Next month we'll be here about the same time. I believe we are here April 20th, something like that.
Right. That's a nice
I believe that's the date, but
every third Thursday.
Every third Thursday. There we go.
At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Until we meet again, you all go and be great and holler at us if you want to partner, build agency, and all of that. We are here for that.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon.